Hey, what's up, guys? It's Hayden.
Hey, and I'm Emma. Welcome back to the channel. Wow, we had a massive episode this week.
Boy, did we.
The Mandalorian. Man, it still gives and gives every week, doesn't it?
Still manages to surprise us.
So, I don't know where to start. Firstly, apologies for the last 2 episodes being a bit late.
Yeah. We're on holidays for a week. We just kind of fell behind a little bit. So we're trying to catch up.
We should be back on track this week. But yes, we are back reviewing the weekly episodes of The Mandalorian. We had episode 5, chapter 13. It was called The Jedi. Now that alone in the title says a lot about this episode.
Says it all.
But I think the biggest revelation that we had this week was we found out a child's name.
That's massive.
Massive!
That's huge.
We don't have to call him the child or Baby Yoda anymore.
Let's be honest, I'm probably still going to.
It will take a little bit to get used to.
I need an adjustment period, all right?
Now, we will talk about that in just a moment. But we also had another character join us this week that we were expecting.
Yep.
A lot of hype around this character. We're going to have to just jump straight into it. We need to talk spoilers as usual. So if you have not seen this episode yet, don't continue watching us.
What are you doing? Go and watch it right now.
Right now.
Then come back.
It is a banger of an episode. You need to go see it. So that's your spoiler warning. We're going to be jumping in right now to these spoilers. But first of all, I mean, I already know, but tell the others what you thought of this episode.
Well, I thought this was one of, if not the best episode of The Mandalorian so far. Yeah, I said it.
Big call.
I know it's a big call. It's a bold move. But I think the only other episode that I guess you could argue for is maybe the finale of season 1. I think this episode was that good. It was that good. And I'll be honest, like the first few episodes of this season, they didn't really excite me. Not to say that we didn't love them and they weren't great. But when I was watching them, I didn't feel the need to want to jump up on the couch and fist bump the air. I didn't feel the need to do a Tom Cruise. Yeah. I feel like
I'm getting that
feeling. I like season 1 just set the bar so high. And so far in season 2, it was just kind of riding that wave, right? It was just staying consistent with that bar.
Yeah, it's not like they were bad.
Not at all. Don't.
They kept that high standard. That it was hard to excite you anymore.
Exactly.
Because you were just sort of hyped.
I knew what to expect. Well, I thought I knew what to expect.
You knew the quality that was set.
I knew the quality that, they were setting for themselves. But this episode, wow. Wow. I had goosebumps. I was grinning like a kid from beginning to end. When the theme song hit in the credits, I was like fist bumping the air. Like this episode had that effect on me, and I was so glad that it did. And what it comes down to, I think, firstly, is the cinematography. I thought this episode was gorgeous. Beautiful looking episode. Some of the shots in this look like they should have been posters or wallpapers or something.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not sure whether it's because Dave Filoni comes from that animation background. Because some of these shots look like they were taken straight from the concept art. Like they were like paintings.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So I don't know whether that has something to do with it. It might do.
It might do.
Yeah.
I mean, for me as well, I think both of us made a comment straight away when this episode started was, the cinematography.
Yeah.
I think we both made a comment on how beautiful
it wasn't just 1 or 2 shots. It was the whole episode.
The whole episode. It kept that consistency. It was a very stylized episode. It had its own flavor. We hadn't really seen an episode that looked like this yet from what I can recall. We've had a few episodes now, but stunning.
Yeah, and keep in mind too, going back to Dave Filoni for a second, he's only been directing live action since season 1 last year.
Yeah. It's easy to forget that. Yeah. He did a brilliant job.
And his first, couple of episodes in season 1, they were good. I don't think they were that flashy. I think he was just trying to keep that consistency with The Mandalorian. I don't think he was trying to do too much. This episode here, I finally feel like he's found his footing as a director.
Mm.
He's finally found his style, which I think is great to see. It's great to see because, as we were saying, like the cinematography of this episode, like the visuals were just outstanding. So I think Dave Filoni did a fantastic job with this episode. So that's number one. Number two is I think that the action scenes were fantastic. You know, really well choreographed, really exciting. And even like right from the first scene, we get like Ahsoka taking down these soldiers, these guards from the town. And you get this great thing where you'll hardly see her. She's like a ghost. And then she'll ignite her lightsabers and you just see like this white glow just emanate. And then she'll turn them off. Like she'll cut one of them down, turn them off. Again, just kind of like a ghost through this fog. And then she'll just ignite her lightsabers again and take down another one. From a visual standpoint, it looks fantastic because you get this great glow from these white lightsabers. This great kind of contrast between that, the red blaster fire, and just this really kind of dark, foggy nighttime location. So all of that looks fantastic. Kind of reminded me of the shot from Game of Thrones where the Dothraki kind of ride through the darkness with like their flaming swords.
Yep.
Despite what you think of that episode, I think visually that was a fantastic shot.
Yes.
And kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Well, actually, I was going to say that the opening scene of this episode reminded me of the opening scene, if I remember rightly, of the very last Star Wars movie with Kylo Ren running through the forest with his lightsaber. That's immediately what I thought of when I saw Ahsoka running through, and I was like, oh, reminds me of Kylo Ren. So I don't know if that was just a coincidence or if it was paying homage to that at all. But I thought that was really cool. Great looking
opening fight scene. Again, we get a look at Ahsoka's skills as a Jedi. You know, she's very meticulous, precise. You know, she doesn't go in like all lightsabers blazing.
No.
She's very stealth-like. You know, she understands that with her lightsabers ignited, she's going to be a clear shot for these guards. So she's very careful. You know, she turns them off and just runs through the darkness and only ignites them when she needs to.
She knows what she's doing.
And
now also played very well by
Rosario Dawson. Yeah, I thought she did a fantastic job, you know, bringing this animated character to life in live action.
And I unfortunately have not seen the show yet, but from what I've seen of the animated character of Ahsoka, I think they
they nailed the look. Let's talk about like their makeup and wardrobe department for a second. I thought they did a fantastic job as well.
I think they absolutely nailed the look. She looked identical to me anyway. She looked identical to that animated character.
And that can be hard. Bringing someone from animation to live action can be very, very difficult. Some characters do not translate well. I think we saw that with the Dragon Ball movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw that, but for a Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z fan like myself, seeing that brought into live action, you could tell that those characters just didn't really translate. And obviously, I think the overall direction of that movie was a bit flawed as well. But it can be tough, and I thought they did a fantastic job with Ahsoka in this episode.
Perfect casting, perfect makeup and wardrobes. So well done, everyone there.
But she kind of gets into a bit of trouble with this town, doesn't she? You know, she's after information, and the magistrate, the lady who's running this town, she's, you know, not going without a fight. You know, she's like, well, how many citizens are you willing to let die for that information? So Ahsoka kind of backs off. You know, she gives him a day to kind of think about it, and that's when Din Djarin comes in, and he doesn't know any better. He just goes straight into that town, and he automatically senses something's not right. You know, the citizens like, hey, don't talk to us. You know, they seem kind of afraid for their lives, but he's able to get an audience with the magistrate. And she's like, hey, I need you to kill this Jedi. And he automatically knows who she's talking about. And he's very careful with his words, you'll find. You know, he's like, he doesn't say, yeah, I'll kill this Jedi for you. He's just like, well, where is she?
Yeah.
You know, doesn't agree to anything. He just says, well, where is she? And she pretty much points him in the direction of like this wilderness. She doesn't know where exactly she is. She's in the wilderness somewhere. And that's when he goes and searches for Ahsoka. And we get, again, like this great scene when they meet. where, again, they don't Ahsoka doesn't really know anybody. She doesn't know who this person is. And especially with the history between the Jedi and the Mandalorian, it's only fair for her to assume this guy's here to kill me.
He's
so
bad news.
Yeah. So we get this great fight scene between the two, and they go tit for tat, you know. He kind of gets his wire, his cable, and kind of wraps her up. Very reminiscent of Return of the Jedi with Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker. But she's able to kind of launch over this tree and kind of launch him into the air through this cable. He's able to cut the cable, get his flamethrower out. Again, they're just going tit for tat. You get to see just kind of how skilled both of these warriors are. Yeah. And that whole sequence was really exciting, really great. Again, visually looked fantastic as well. Until finally Din Djarin's like, hey, wait, no, Bo-Katan sent me.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, okay. So then they finally able to sit down. She's introduced to the child. And we have that great little moment where they're communicating through the Force. You know, they don't even need to say a single word to each other. They're sitting there with the Force against this fantastic backdrop of like the moon, like they're silhouetted against the moon. Gorgeous fantastic shot. Looking shot.
Very much so. It was very, very picturesque.
Yeah. And then they go back and they see Mando and they're just having a bit of a conversation. And then next minute, she drops his name, his real name, the child's name.
And it was somewhat out of the blue. Like it was very casually dropped into that conversation. And I even remember turning to you and being like, hold up. Did we just get the child's name?
Hold the phone. Let's rewind.
Girl, did you just drop his name? Is that what you just did? And lo and behold, yes.
Yeah.
We got the child's name. Finally, at last.
It's Grogu.
It's Grogu. And I don't know how to feel about it.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
I don't hate it, but I don't know if I'd like it. But I think that's just because I don't know what I was expecting.
And I think if you leave a character unnamed for so long, I think people start to make their own assumptions about what he should be called. And then when you learn his real name, you're like, no, that's not what he's called. No. That's not
what was in my head.
No.
But I didn't have anything in my head. I literally did not know what on earth you would call this kid, because you had to have. Yoda is such an iconic name. Like, what do you name this iconic character that we now have, that we've all come to know as Baby Yoda? But we couldn't ever really call him that because we didn't know for sure. It couldn't have been Yoda.
Yeah.
The timelines didn't match up. So what do you call him? Grogu. And I feel like because it sounds too much like Goku. And
I think a few people have mentioned that.
I keep wanting to say that. But yeah, it's cute enough, I guess. Like, he's a cute character. You gotta have a cute name. I guess it works.
And I guess it's Star Wars, so characters are going to have outlandish names. It's like you got Grief Karga. Like, who names their kid Grief?
Not the best of names.
No.
It's a bit of a depressing name.
Boba, weird name.
Boba.
But Yoda's a weird name. It's Star Wars, so.
That's right, Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu.
Sure to grow on us.
Anyway, moving on. So not only that, but we also get to learn a little bit about his upbringing.
Yes.
So we learned that he was trained at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. So he was there when Order 66 went down during Revenge of the Sith. So we learned that someone was able to take him away from Coruscant. We don't know who, but he was able to escape somehow. So that's great. That's just some great character development. We actually get to learn a little bit more about his past and where he came from, and that he was actually trained by some Jedi over that time. So that makes a little bit more sense now as to why he's got a little bit of control over the Force.
Got a bit of a backstory now. So that was cool. I wasn't expecting that, but that's awesome.
Not at all. And that's when Din Djarin is like, you need to train him. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a father. I'm not a Jedi. I don't know how to deal with Force powers. Didn't even know what the Force was until recently. So he's like, you need to train him. And then she's like, well, let's put him through a bit of a test. So she grabs a rock and she kind of floats it over to him. And she's like, okay, float it back. And he's like, no. He's like, throws it away. Chucks a tantrum. He's like, no.
Very childlike.
So then she's like, well, why don't you try it? She's talking to Din Djarin. Why don't you try? You've got this connection to him. So then he tries it and it's not really working. But then he remembers the silver ball from his ship.
Yeah.
that he had in his pocket because earlier on in the episode, Grogu tried to, take it from the ship. And
he's always had a fascination.
Always had a fascination. So they've set that up pretty early on. So he grabs this kind of silver ball out of his pocket and he, tries to do the same thing. And instantly Grogu's like, straight to him.
Well, I think we both had a bit of a laugh then because it reminded us so much of our cat when you pull out a little ball.
Silver alfoil ball or a scrunched up receipt. Yeah.
Are we going to play? That's what he was like then.
Yeah. So we get that, and we then kind of, we get to see this great connection between Din Djarin and Grogu. And he's like, hey, great job, kid. Great job.
So wholesome.
Yeah.
We love wholesome content.
Absolutely. But then Ahsoka, through this testing and obviously through communicating with him through the Force, she kind of starts to realize that Grogu has this deep attachment to Din Djarin already and a bit of fear in him as well. And she goes on to say that, look, I've seen what this can do to a fully fledged Jedi. And obviously she's talking about Anakin. She's talking about Anakin. Mm-hmm. So we get that great little reference. Throwback, yeah. And she's like, I can't train him. I can't do it. And he's like, well, what am I meant to do? You have to train him. She's like, no, I can't do it. So he's like, all right, if I help you infiltrate this town, this city, get to the magistrate, will you train him? And I think she kind of is like, I don't even think she fully agrees. It's just kind of like insinuated that she does. So then we get like this great final action set piece, right? Ahsoka pretty much just jumps the front gate and starts taking out these guards one by one. She's just like cutting through them, like knife through butter. Again, we get like that great kind of glow from the white lightsabers, and it just looks so great against like this foggy, dark nighttime backdrop. And then she's going through all these guards. The magistrate sends Michael Biehn. I don't think we mentioned Michael Biehn yet. Michael Biehn's in this episode.
He is indeed. He's
kind of like the hired gun of the magistrate's guard. Ex-military, I think, is they say. So it's so great to see Michael Biehn back. I don't think I've seen him since maybe Planet Terror.
It's been a while.
But I loved him ever since Terminator, Aliens. He's been one of my favorite actors from like that late 80s, early 90s stuff. He's kind of gone off from acting a little bit. I think he's had his own personal demons and stuff that he's needed to deal with and, some personal stuff. But it's great to see him back. He's maybe a tiny bit rusty, but he's still got it. You can tell he's still got it. And just having him there, just his presence was enough for me to go, oh.
You were a bit confused.
Yeah, it's like the first half of the episode was like, wait, is that Michael Biehn? No, I don't think that is. Wait, is that Michael Biehn? I'm about 70% sure that's Michael Biehn.
It was
no, I don't think that's Michael Biehn.
It was
is that Michael Biehn?
Constant commentary through the whole episode, other than, oh my god, this episode looks amazing. Is that Michael Biehn? No, it's not. It's not. I'm 70% sure.
He definitely looks a lot older, yeah.
He has aged a bit.
Yeah, but
he did a great job.
Good to see him. So good to see him. He's kind of set after Ahsoka at this point. And as well as a couple of, I think they're kind of like assault droids or assassin droids, something like that. Which again is from like that extended universe stuff, which is great to see. So then Ahsoka, she's kind of jumping on rooftops and just taking them all out. It's just so good. And meanwhile, Din Djarin kind of sneaks in from behind and starts to free these citizens who were kind of strung up outside the like the gates of like the main kind of palace area. And while he's doing that, Michael Biehn kind of comes out from around the corner and notices him. And they have like this little kind of showdown, quick draw, kind of Western style moment.
Yeah, very Western.
Meanwhile, Ahsoka's kind of standing on the top of the gate there. Again, just a great shot, a great use of depth.
Yeah.
Like you get Din Djarin in the foreground, and then it kind of like does like a pull focus to Ahsoka on the top of that wall. You got like this great use of depth there, and again, just a great looking shot. And then she jumps the wall, obviously going after the magistrate. And they have their own little showdown on the other side of the wall. There's like this great little kind of pond thing, and there's like a bridge going through it, and I think there's like some fish in the pond. It's very samurai looking, very oriental.
Very oriental.
And they have like, while they're having their Western showdown, they're having like their samurai showdown. Right, so Ahsoka's got her 2 lightsabers. The magistrate has got this spear made from Beskar steel. I'm pretty sure it's Beskar.
Something like that. What the
The Mandalorian arm is made
make
out
their
of.
armor
Yeah.
out of. Yep.
Which can deflect lightsabers and blaster fire. So they have this kind of duel, and all that's very well done, very well choreographed. Again, looks fantastic. And while they're doing that, they're on the other side of the wall. They're not really doing much. They're kind of like just staring down at each other, their hands hovering over their guns. Again, very Western. And Michael Bihn's like, I wonder who's winning. And then once Ahsoka finally gets the best of the magistrate, he's like, oh, I guess you won. And then he starts to put down his blaster, but then he tries to pull the old sneaky. Pulls his blaster from his back holster. But
I saw that coming.
Din Djarin way too quick. Again, it's like that classic quick draw kind of thing. It's just bang, too quick for him.
Very cool.
Very cool. But yeah, Ahsoka gets the best of the magistrate. And she's like, you need to tell me what I need to know. Give me the information I need. Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? And we hear that name, and those of us in the know that that's from Rebels. So a great extended universe throwback reference. Whether he's going to make it into the Mandalorian storyline, I'm not sure, or whether they're going to set that up for maybe a side story, maybe like an Ahsoka side story. I think there's been talks that might be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not sure what's going to happen there, but again, another big name dropped.
Yes.
And that's kind of where that starts to wrap up. Obviously. Din Djarin, he's held up his end of the bargain, so he's now got to give the child over to Ahsoka. So he goes back to the ship and grabs him, and we think that's going to be his final goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm about ready to cry. I'm going to be honest. I'm about ready to cry at that point. I'm like, no!
And we were just talking in our last review, when are we going to see this goodbye happen? And we're like, oh gosh, is it going to happen this soon? And yeah, we're like, oh no, this could be it. This could be the goodbye that we've been dreading. But alas.
No, Ahsoka rocks up and she's like, nope, can't train him, can't do it. And he's like, what? You said if I helped you out, you would train him. And he's like, nope, not going to do it, can't do it. But she says, look, if you are wanting to kind of, help him harness his powers and take him to this planet, take him to this Jedi temple and put him on this altar, and he will make the choice for himself. He will decide whether he wants to follow the path of a Jedi, follow the Force, or kind of step back from it. So that's kind of how the episode ends. I feel like probably that's where we're going to next. This planet, we're obviously going to find out what Grogu's destiny is going to be, what destiny he chooses for himself. But 3 episodes left, and we've still got Moff Gideon doing his thing. We've got Boba Fett still yet to come back. We've got Grand Admiral Thrawn now thrown into the mix. What's going to happen in these last few episodes?
There's a lot of components going on in the story. It's just, again, another new element thrown into to this storyline. So could go any way right now. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he could be taking little Grogu to make his choice, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like that might be our next episode.
Or they save that as like a cliffhanger in the season finale, or is our season finale going to be that the Imperials catch up, Moff Gideon catches up, and kidnaps little Grogu?
Yeah. Little Goku? Did you say little Goku?
Grogu. See, I keep saying it sounds too much like Goku. Grogu.
Yeah.
Oh, is he going to get kidnapped? I don't know. It's a little bit nerve-wracking.
A little bit nerve-wracking, yeah. But tell us what you guys think. What do you think is going to happen in the next few episodes of The Mandalorian? Where are we going? What did you think of Grogu? What did you think of his name? What did you think of the portrayal of Ahsoka? Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka. I thought they did a great job with her character, with like the makeup and the costume. I thought all that was fantastic. But what did you guys think? What did you think of the look of the episode, the cinematography? Like, am I alone in thinking that this episode was like on another level?
No, it looked brilliant.
Yeah. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, as well as do all that YouTube stuff. Slam that like button if you like this video. Hit the bell for the notifications to be alerted when our next Mandalorian review drops. Subscribe to the channel to become part of the community and to also check out some of our older videos, including our Season 1 review. And most importantly of all, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
See ya.